Welcome back to Quiet Please. Kira here alongside Mel. It's been a bit of a crazy week, Mel. I'm excited to chat, and we've got a guest on today, which will be really fun.
We do. We will get into that in a bit, but I'm quite confident in saying that he's one of our favorite golfers, or people, actually, the guest this week.
He's the first man we've ever asked to be on the show, so I think that tells you everything you need to know about Joel Dahmen. Winner on the PGA Tour.
Dahmen.
Netflix star. He's going to be joining us. We had a really nice chat with him a couple of weeks ago, so this will be a fun one for everyone.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think everybody that watched Full Swing just fell in love with Joel. Even more so when he took his top off, so we do talk about that in the pod, but big fan of Joel.
Man of the people.
Big fan of Joel. Yeah, we bonded over a couple beers once in Vegas, which I'm sure everyone finds hard to believe, but he's been one of my favorites since. So knew I would love him, and everyone loves Joel, and hopefully everyone will enjoy the podcast. But
yeah. How are you? What are you up to? Before we jumped on, you said you were waiting for some mulch to be delivered, which I love that for you.
Thank you. I'm in my gardening era, which I absolutely hate.
It's a love-hate.
No, I hate it. I hate
okay.
it.
Sorry. Maybe you should
it.
Stop. You know what? This is maybe one of those things where you throw money at the problem, hire somebody.
I know, but I've done that before and I got ripped off. So I'm one of them people that I really do try to do it myself, and it's awful. But anyway,
that's the difference between you and me.
Just every time I go past I've tried really hard. It definitely looks better in my front lawn, but it stresses me out, Kira. It just does. But anyway, I'm getting some mulch delivered today.
It stresses me out too. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. So that's what I'll be doing this evening. But yeah, other than that, we had Mother's Day. Me and Carly celebrate Mother's Day different because we have a British Mother's Day and a US Mother's Day.
So that's cute. So you get to split it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
so I did.
Mine
was
that.
Yeah, it was cool actually. So mine was yesterday, and Kai got me some wine and cheese, which
that Kai,
I know.
He just knows. He's very
knows.
Advanced. That Kai, 1 year old, and he's already got it.
He's already got it down. So yeah, we had a lovely day yesterday. Yeah, so it was just really nice. Went to the pub for a couple of beers, and I made a steak and ale pie, which was delicious. That
sounds great. Well, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Any excuse to celebrate you.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every day is a day to celebrate me.
This is true.
But yeah, it was nice that Kai got me some gifts. So
very nice.
Thank you, Kai. I'm pretty sure Carly had something to do with that. So thanks, Carly.
Maybe.
How was your weekend? You were in Texas.
It was good. Yeah. I was in Texas at the Houston Open, where Minwoo Lee won the golf tournament, and it was all super exciting. It was one of those, Scotty shooting a million under on the back to almost win the golf tournament. But he's a flashy guy, and he was very flashy about his win, and it was fun to be there to do the interview. And he kind of pretended to do aim point over an 8-inch putt at the end.
I mean, he's a showman, isn't
he? Yeah. So he gave the people what they wanted. But I had a couple of funny things happen to me over the weekend. So I know we generally don't do shush of the week when we have a guest, but I have a couple of shushes to share with you from some weird things that people came up to me and said. One of them was this guy. I'm sitting there like clearly I'm like taking frantic notes. I'm about to go and interview somebody earlier in the week, not on the final day, but on like the Wednesday or something like that, when we're doing a bunch of our pre-show stuff. Mm-hmm. And this man comes up to me and interrupts me, which is fine. And, he says hello, like, hi, yeah, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Whatever, like, trying to get back to my work. And he goes, so what's your last name? And I said, Dixon. And he goes, oh, which one is Dixon? And I was like,
excuse me?
What? And he goes, well, which one is yours? And I was like,
wait, what?
What? And he goes, who are you married to that you're here?
Oh, did he think you were a wag?
It's like, sir, do you think that the only way I can be here is because I've married somebody?
Oh, wait, though, did he think that you were a player's?
Yeah, he thought that the
wife?
only, I'm not, I'm clearly like work. I mean,
Oh, that is so funny.
But it was like, the wags are walking around and stuff, but the idea of just going up to somebody and assuming that the only way you could be there
Did the earpiece and the
and the
aggressive note
microphone
taking
and the
and the
shirt that said
microphone
Golf Channel
and the hat that said
and the
Golf Channel.
hat. I'm a big hat girl these days.
Yeah, I know. I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, so it just was so weird. I think that people just want to say hi, which is
Yeah.
fine, but then they get vomit of the mouth and just
They just, do you know what, Kira? I get it. You have that, you have that kind of aura around you. I'm sure people especially men get very nervous around you.
such an aura, yeah, totally.
Such an energy around you.
Such an aura. But then I had another person come up to me later in the week and say, hey, that's that Scotty Scheffler. Did you know he's the world #1? I was like,
oh my gosh,
you don't say.
I will write that in my notes.
Yeah. So I made a reel about this. Like, people come up to me and say weird shit. Like, they just do. And this guy commented, and I didn't comment back because I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of it on the internet, but I'll say it on the podcast. And I blocked him, so hopefully he never comes back to haunt me. If he does, sir, I see you. But this guy commented on my reel, and he said, anyone with a mid face and a microphone can interview someone. That doesn't mean you know golf.
Oh,
and I went and looked in his profile, and the first thing it says is girl dad.
Oh, that's annoying, isn't it?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what annoys me when people comment, and I think we've spoke about this before. When people comment on other people's social media, you don't have to go on my social media and do you know what I mean? Like, I think Ricky Gervais did this thing where he's like, just because it says free guitar lessons doesn't mean you have to walk in and go, I didn't want fucking free guitar lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Like, you don't have to comment on my shit. You don't have to even watch my shit.
I know that we put ourselves out there. Like we are public facing,
but
in
it's
our
such an
in our
effort
business
to make a comment like that.
Yeah, like it was just so like you're never going to offend me with any comments about my appearance, my look, whatever. But the fact that you have girl dad living my best life and a family photo in your profile picture is so just like.
What did he call you? Mid face?
He said that I had a mid face. That means I'm a meh looking human, which is fine.
No,
I'm very happy to be a meh looking human.
No, you're absolutely.
He caught me on a bad day.
You are not a meh looking human.
Thanks, Mel. But anyway, I don't know what it was. Like, Mercury's in retrograde for some of these people this week, but I thought you would get some entertainment out of that.
I mean, it's just I can't even comment on it because it's infuriating to me. I can't deal with it, Kira.
Yeah, but other than that, it was a great week.
You bought some wellies. Oh my god!
I bought wellies at Target because it was disgusting and raining out. And now I have moved locations to Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah, baby. So you're doing Amway this week, yeah?
Well, I think that by the time this episode comes out, this will be public, so I'm allowed to say it.
Oh.
So I'm hosting a show for Augusta called Under the Umbrellas, which is a kind of a new fan initiative, more lifestyle-based digital show. And it'll be on all of Augusta Nationals and the Masters.com digital channels, which will be really fun. So I'm doing stuff with Anwa around that. And then I'm also doing Drive, Chip, and Putt. And I'm doing some Masters reporting for us, for Golf Channel over the weekend during the Masters tournament. But for the next 2 weeks, my main thing really will be this show. So
amazing. That's awesome.
It's going to be really fun. But I just arrived today.
Not bad for a meh face.
Yeah.
Show.
Look at me go, sir.
Oh, dear me.
So classic. But yeah.
Good. I did like your wellies, by the way. Big welly girl me. Yeah, I love a bit. I've got about 3 pairs back in England.
You know, it's funny. Every British caddy came up to me and said, oh, look at the wellies.
Yeah, wellies. We love a welly. Yeah, and my mulch has literally just arrived.
Okay, great.
Carly's obviously not paying any attention to the guy that's
just
running the ring camera 6 times. So
okay,
I gotta go get
out of
my
here.
mulch.
You gotta get
get my mulch.
And I hope you guys enjoy this conversation with Joel Dahmen. excited to welcome PGA Tour winner, star of Netflix's Full Swing, husband, dad, and Joel. I think that you'll appreciate this. You are the first man that we have asked to be on this show. I think that says a lot about who you are. Thank you for joining.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've listened to a few of your previous episodes. I was honored to be one of the early guests on this. So this is great. Big fan of both of you guys as well.
Oh, I'm a big fan of you, Joel. You know
Thanks,
that, mate.
Joel.
Oh, Mel, I just miss our late nights running around in some sponsor outings where we just really enjoy those evenings.
I know. Putting us two together in a sponsors outing event is probably not the best two combined. The double trouble.
I don't know. That seems like a double whammy, like guaranteed good time.
I mean, the groups definitely had a good time, and we have a very good time after the groups have gone.
Correct.
So we just wanted to bond, didn't we? I mean, I knew that I was going to get on with you anyway, Joel, after watching you on Full Swing. And a lot of my good friends know you, Cassette and Amanda and Kira and everyone. So they were just very highly speaking of you. And so I was desperate to meet you, and you did not disappoint, mate. I must say, you were.
I was just trying to keep up with you.
Legendary.
When was this? When was this? What did you guys do?
It was an AWS golf day in Vegas, 2 years ago? And Kai'd been born for like 2 weeks. So it was my first.
Yeah, it was your first venture out.
Yeah, and I ran into Joel, Max Homer, and Harry Higgs by the bar. They dragged me. And it was, I was supposed to get a good night's sleep. It was like the one time I was going to get a good night's sleep, and it was just not. So, but it was worth it. Worth every bit of it. Joel, was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Speaking of a lot of fun, you told us before we hopped on that you've locked yourself in your kid's room. What is your dad life like on tour these days?
My kiddo just turned 2 recently, so we never know what we're going to get. Some days he's happy as a clam, and other days he's not happy, and we don't know why, and he's not willing to explain it to us. So
Rude.
Day to day, but most of the time he is a great guy. He sleeps really well for the most part, has a lot of fun. But terrible twos are a real thing, and we're seeing just the beginning of it. But for the most part, he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Does he travel with you every week?
I wouldn't say every week, but a lot of weeks. International is obviously a little bit harder, but we're on week 2 of 4 in a row out here. And they'll be at all 4 of these, and plan on going to a few. They're probably at 75% of the events. There's a few that just don't make sense. But if I'm going to be gone for more than 2 weeks, or really obviously more than 1 week, then they'll join me on the road for sure.
That's perfect, isn't it?
How's the year been so far? Can you put it into words what 2025 is? I know you kind of had like a funky start, the missed 3 or 4 cuts, so you've had some great finishes. Players went really well in terms of making a statement, making the cut. Where are you at right now?
I would say it's off to a pretty solid start. 2 top 10s early in the year is always nice. You could always play better, but I think for me to carry some momentum I had from the fall of 24 into 25 has been nice. I'm seeing a lot of been played really consistently, I would say, the last 4 or 5 weeks, and that's something that I've wanted to do more of after last year, and just kind of been more patient. I'm having more fun this year. I feel like it's kind of got a second go at this whole thing. Maybe, kind of feels like a second act maybe to my career. And I'm kind of enjoying the golf aspect much more than I did last year.
How many years have you been on tour now?
This is my 9th year on the PGA Tour and my 14th year as a professional.
Jeez.
So
catching up to me, Joel.
I am catching up to you.
I'm done now, mate. So
yeah.
17.
Mel had 17 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thanks, Joel. I know I don't look
it. But I feel like, I definitely don't. You should invite me back to the Grant Thornton and just have player one and done. It won't be so much about the golf as the entertainment, and you could just ride off in the sunset once every year.
I know that would be. Well, I'm not an ambassador anymore. They kicked me off. So
yeah, I feel you there.
I know. No, I still have a great relationship with them, but probably because I'm not playing, it's probably not great to have a LPGA ambassador that doesn't play golf anymore. So,
but you can just be the ambassador for golf.
Thank you, Kira. I could actually. Do you know what? I'll still ask for an invite for us, Joel. I really want to play with you in a mixed event. I think we'd. I think it'd be.
It would be. We certainly have the most fun. I don't know if
I'm not sure we would crush it.
Yeah.
But if it really,
for some reason, I had
week.
thought that you guys had played together in a Grant Thornton because that seems like a no-brainer pairing.
I requested him, So either he rejected me.
I did not. I was fortunate enough to play in one of them, but at the time I did have the number one player in the world on my team.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah, I mean,
Really
that's
a
fair
boob.
enough. Yeah,
well,
fair
yes.
enough. Fair enough.
We had a fun time too. She's great. I was very impressed with her.
Yeah, she's lovely,
and
isn't she?
she is. She's great. She's probably goes to bed a little bit earlier than you do, but she's still a lot of fun.
Hey,
we had a great
pot
time.
kettle black. Hang on a minute. A pot kettle black. But yes, she certainly does. Which is probably why she's world number one, and I never got close to that. So there we go.
I
had a good time
pretty
though,
good run.
Joel. I've got some good stories. I had a good time out there, mate. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got to ask about the full swing. Obviously, you've been on tour 9 years on the PJ Tour. Is that like the most defining year of your life, being on full swing? I feel like you just went into like the most popular player ever on the PJ Tour.
Yeah, I guess I never thought I would be this popular from a TV show. I certainly thought it'd be from hopefully winning golf tournaments, but that wasn't quite the case. We didn't know what we were really signing up for, but a camera and a microphone were presented to Geno and myself, and off we ran with it. And it was a little bit different than everyone else, and they seemed to like that. So off we ran, and it was great for us for the most part. Great opportunities. Obviously, popularity has really risen the last few years, and with that comes many great things. But there's a few more things that time management's not one of my strong suits, so I had to figure that part out. And I had my kid 3 weeks before Full Swing came out, so it's like trying to adjust the dad life to then becoming one of the more popular players on tour, and maybe not having the golf game quite match up in the same time it was kind of a wild 2 years, and I feel like everything's finally settling down a little bit in that aspect.
But in this past season of Full Swing, you weren't as involved as you have been in past seasons, right?
Correct. Yeah, I just did kind of avoid it as much as we could. Just did one sit down kind of thing and talked about the overview of golf, I would say.
Okay. So I think it was the previous season, I remember talking to you at some point because they went really deep down on your personal storyline with a lot of stuff that you were dealing with. And by the time the show came out, you had already, I mean, it was like 6 months later, and you were like, I've moved on from so much of this, and life has changed so much since we filmed. It's like kind of reliving that era again, but I've already processed so much from any of those challenges. Like, can you, for those that don't understand the timing of how this works, like what was it like filming and living all that stuff in the moment, but then also having it be the reality of a show that people think is happening like at the same time?
Yeah, I think that's a great point you make. It's interesting because they film, let's say, a lot of spring and summer, and then so that would have been the spring and summer of 23, and then the show comes out in the spring of 24. So it's 9 to 12 months removed from what you're seeing on TV, what you're seeing on Netflix is just so like I said, I had felt like grown up and moved on and had faced a lot of these challenges head on, from being a grumpy golfer and having a rough go to hiring a sports performance coach to my kid's another year older. A lot of these challenges that came upon are like so far behind me, and then this comes out and you get to rehash it all, and like you get sick and tired of like fighting for yourself of like, hey, this was so last year, like I'm over these things, this is what I've moved on to, this is what it is. But I guess that's just kind of part of being on the show, is that you're going to rehash some of that stuff. But yeah, at some point it gets a little bit tired of the social media or just some of the questions of, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm like, I have been doing all of this stuff. So that part gets a little bit tiring, but at the same time, I think people can see now, hopefully just through some results, obviously, but also just me being a happier golfer, I would say, and enjoying day-to-day life more in the process of it all more, that they can see that I did make some adjustments in my life, and I did listen to some of those people in my life. So it's been great. It's been a fun ride.
Would you say that you've I hate using the word rededicated for some reason, but do you think that you've definitely made that shift since the first series of Full Swing?
Yeah, I think I'm just more I'm better with my time, I would say, on the golf course. I'm more prepared when I tee off on Thursdays now, and I have a better process and a better thought of what I'm doing week to week. And I think just a lot of things are like I'm better prepared to travel with my family now, having done this for a couple years. And as hard as the terrible twos are, it's still sometimes it's a lot easier than it is, when they're really young. So yeah, I don't know if rededicate, but I guess I don't know the exact word for it, but I'm kind of enjoying this maybe second act out here on the PGA Tour, and kind of being an older veteran is kind of a weird thing. It does.
No, you're definitely old, mate.
Yeah, I am. I'm old. I got gray hairs. I'm a dad. So yeah, that's all just kind of like I'm just enjoying everything a little bit more.
Just saying, you adjust into your new life now. Like you said, being a dad, having rigs, and all that stuff. It's a hard adjustment, especially when you're trying to be a top professional athlete at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'm not the first one to go through this. I mean, there's, I think some people figure it out quicker than others. Some people never figure it out. But I've figured it out on my own timeline, I guess. And, I think it's just really fun to have a kid out here now. Like yesterday, you got to go to the aquarium all day, and he's telling me about how he got to, pet a turtle, and, he fed a baby alligator, and today he gets to go see the penguins at daycare. Like all this stuff.
They bring
really
the penguins
cool
to daycare.
They do. It's very, very nice. It's one of the great perks out here.
It's PJ talk here, remember?
It's very chic. It's all very chic here.
Very chic, yeah.
Is chic the correct word?
I think so. I don't know any daycare that brings a sloth and a hawk to
No,
we
get crayons and a piece of paper at the LPGA budget.
Hey, that'll keep your kiddo entertained for about 12 daycare. Seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to love it. He used to love the women on the LPGA daycare. It was dead cute, actually. Yeah. They're complete angels, I will say. Saved us a lot.
They are. I mean, it's the life on the road. They travel every week with us, which helps out a ton. So your kid gets to know them, and
the similarity as well, isn't it? Like they know the women or the guys or whoever are looking after them. It's the same every week, and so that's, I don't know. It's just a lot of LPGA. I can speak obviously for the women, but a lot of them are just so grateful for the daycare that we get. It's like one of the best things on the LPGA is the daycare and the daycare women. They're just amazing.
Right. Yeah. You feel like they're safe when you drop them off. They understand your kid's routine. They understand some of the things they like, they don't like. And, like for sure. I mean, I can't imagine being, I couldn't imagine my wife Lana being an LPGA golfer and trying to do what she does with a kid. Like there's just things that moms can do that dads can't, and I can't imagine being on that side of it. So women are special, and they are by far the superior gender in all of this. So yes, I know you two know for sure.
You're telling us something we already know. Joel.
Thank you, Joel.
Thanks for the reminder.
Who is more famous from Full Swing, you or Geno?
I mean, if you took like the percentage of the popularity from me going up to Geno going up, I mean, for sure, Geno. I mean, he signs more autographs than half the tour guys do.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is actually amazing.
It's his birthday today, isn't it?
Oh, happy birthday, Geno.
You posted some really flattering photos of
gorgeous.
I was like, I don't think I need this on my feed. This is
you do.
A bit much.
Look
it up, Mel. Look it up.
Oh. I've seen it. I saw it. I saw it. He's naked pretty much in all of them apart from one.
Well, that's what you get when you room with Geno. He's actually about 12 feet away on the couch out there right now.
Oh, nice.
So he got kicked out of his Airbnb, like his typical Geno style. He didn't have one place for the whole week, so he's on my couch tonight, which is great.
Perfect.
Pretty standard.
Sorry, I was just how long have you been with Geno? Your whole career?
Yeah, so when I got on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2015 is when he came out, and we've been together ever since. So we're 10 years in, I guess 11 years golf-wise, 10 years total. But we've known each other 25 years now. Kind of wild to think. We've been pretty close for 25 years. He's 4 years older than me, but so we kind of missed each other in high school days. But we grew up in the same town and always kept in touch. And even when I went to school in Seattle, our paths crossed over there. And when I moved back home, he was back home by that time. We just kept in touch, and the older we got, the closer we got, which is it's just been it's really special to have my best friend on the bag, and he's really a part of our family. And his family's really awesome too. So it's just really nice to have someone along for the ride that you trust and you know that cares about you. And
Yeah.
like today, he asked if he'd come hang out with Riggs. Like, you just want to hang out with my little guy. Like, that's just a really cool thing that we have that not many other player caddies have.
No.
Yeah, I definitely feel like you guys have a different relationship. I think that I kind of wanted to get in the player caddy relationship because some players, I should say, kind of like it a little bit more businessy. And then you've got other players that literally are with their best mate. I've always kind of liked a little bit of a middle ground. My last caddy actually was probably one of my best ones, Greg. Shout out to Greg. It was like a very, like he was probably like one of the most like loyal, like I definitely knew he had my back and trustworthy guy, and was just, I don't know, like it was we were really good friends, but we never kind of crossed that line of like having to go to dinner and stuff every single night. That's just the way I liked it. I just liked a little bit of separation, but you guys seem to literally just be best mates and not get sick of each other. And that must just work for you guys.
It does. There's times where we will, there's times I won't see him out off the golf course. Like, obviously, he's developed a lot of great friends out here as well. And if he's, if I have my family's out here, a lot of times our paths just won't cross off the golf course. But also, like, there's times where I prefer to stay with him. If my family's not out, I think it's great for us to stay together. It keeps us out of trouble, and like we can just stay on like the same path, and like so like we have no issues seeing each other 24/7 for a full week. But then it's nice to kind of have your break as well. Like, especially sometimes it's really difficult if you have a bad day on the golf course, or you have disagreements out there, and then all of a sudden you're sitting in the same car going back to the same house, and it's like, I want to get away from you, but I can't. But we fight like brothers, so it's over pretty quickly. And very lucky that, like you said, he can pop in and out, and much prefer to have a best friend out there than more of a business transaction, which some guys work better that way. They just want a guy to show up, and they'll kick him down the road and they'll see him later. But I don't know. There's something, Geno and I will always be best buddies, whether he's working for me or not.
Geno also joined you for the Navy SEAL thing that you did over the winter, didn't he?
Yeah, not many caddies would be doing that either. That just shows how much he cares and wants me to, wants us to do well and keep getting better and progressing in this. And for a guy who hates the ocean and
how do you
afraid of sharks, Geno is unbelievable. So he's really tough. I mean, he's from northern Idaho. Like, his dad's a logger. Like, our first 2 years when I was on the Corn Ferry, he didn't make much money, and he would work in the winters. He'd get up at 3 a.m. and go out with his dad and build logging roads out in the middle of northern Idaho in the woods. So, like, he is a tough son of a gun, but he's also really good at swimming. Like, very impressive in the water, where I was not, shockingly. I didn't do as well in the water. He was just kind of hopped in and figured it out and really did really well. But, he kind of took his job was kind of, be my teammate, but kind of take on a caddy role. And he was there supportive in any way that he could be. And a lot of times I was participating in a lot of things I was doing. And there's a few times I'm like, why? Like, how? There's just no one else on earth that would, especially in a caddy role, that would dive on in with their buddy and, jump in cold plunges and then go swim in some cold ocean waters and go on runs. And he was down for it all. And, he got a lot out of it himself, but it was just kind of a fun, looking back, it's fun that we did that together in the middle of it. I don't think either one of us would have got through it without each other.
Well, I was just going to say that for those that don't know what we're talking about, this is a story that Amanda Balionis first talked to you about on CBS, with the training that you did with the Navy SEAL to change mindset, to find a new gear, whatever you want to call it. And I know that, a lot of that you want to keep to yourself, but in general, how much do you think that everything you learned actually shows up in your day-to-day now on the golf course?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I work with a guy named Chris Bertram. Worked with him for 18 months-ish now. He's a Canadian snowboard coach, actually. He's on the national team and he coaches snowboarders. So Mel, you would enjoy him just in that aspect.
Sounds like Mel.
If he could,
Not quite.
if he can get these snowboarders to, jump off and do triple backflips and head down these massive mountains, like, he'd probably get a golfer to hit a 7-iron. So he's just been really fun in that aspect, and something a little bit different. But he's taken a few of his snowboarders down to, his name is Ben Ives, and he's he's a former Navy SEAL, and he's kind of getting into performance coaching on the side. And Chris thought it'd be good for me, and I didn't really know what to get myself into. And it was really fun. But like you said, I was trying to get mentally tougher and trying to there's more in me than I think that there is. Like, you can always dig a little bit deeper, and your mind can take you to great places, and I can do hard things type of stuff. So especially last fall when I was struggling to stay in the 125 and needed to play well, I don't think I would have ever been able to kind of go to that place in my mind and in my body to perform like I did on that Sunday without having some of that prior stuff from the Navy SEAL training involved. And like, what this Navy SEAL stuff was not push-ups and sit-ups. It was not, just like basically drowning in the surf. Ours was, it was a lot of stuff in the pool, some cold plunging, which obviously sucks. A lot of people are into that now, but and then just swimming in, like, out past the break, like you're in hundreds of feet of water and there's ocean. I mean, I don't like that at all. Like, there could be a shark there.
Yeah. No control at all.
Exactly. Like, you're just you have to, figure that stuff out and like kind of look deeply within inside yourself and control your thoughts in that aspect. And I don't think I would have got through last fall without having that training. So that was very beneficial, but I don't really want to go back and do it again.
You were great.
Yeah.
Thank you, but we're good.
Yeah.
Talking of training, mate, millions of people have seen you with your top off. How is your training? How is your fitness routine going?
How has your fitness routine gone since that moment?
Since that moment. I'm just asking.
It's funny. I think lacking is probably good. So I'm really good at some stretchings.
Awesome. That'll build muscle. That'll get you. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm flexible. I have a PT out here on the road I share with other players, so I see him, almost daily, which is great. But as far as lifting heavy things, like I probably should be doing, pretty lacking on that. I guess my kid's like 35 pounds.
Yeah,
I lift
that
him
counts,
a bunch.
Joel. That counts.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. So I would say the overall standard of fitness level is I wouldn't be able to keep up with you, obviously.
No.
No one would be able to
Hang
keep
on
up
a
with
minute.
Yeah.
Kira also does kickbacks, by the way, with a 5 pound
glute
weight.
kickbacks
So,
with
kickbacks.
ankle weights.
Yes.
Yep.
Strong. Good.
Yeah.
That's,
so it's both of us now you're competing against.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I would hold up very well. If you want to go on a walking contest, I could probably hang pretty well on a nice long walk.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm probably not going to do so well. That's something that I will get into it for a few weeks, and I'll have an excuse not to go once or twice, and then it's just starting all back over again.
I will say I played in the Hilton Tournament of Champions LPGA Pro-Am earlier in the year, and I hadn't walked 18 holes like that for multiple days in a really long time. And by the last day, I was so wrecked. Like, the bottoms of my feet when I woke up were just like boom, boom, boom. Like, I could feel my heartbeat in my feet. Like, it was so painful. So I don't know how you guys do this week in and week out. It was psycho.
Have you ever tried carrying like a carry bag now? Because I obviously used to do it as kids all the time, but now in America, I feel like you just jump in a cart, don't you, and just go and play a team with your buddies. I carried my bag the other day, and I'm not joking. My back was in pieces for like 3 days.
Yeah, I definitely will never, like you said, the only time I ever walk is if it's a tour round, and you take a break from Thanksgiving through the New Year. I'm never gonna walk, and all of a sudden you get up at the first tournament of the year and you're walking, and you're like, wow, this really sucks.
Yeah.
So there certainly is something about walking shake on golf, and it's not as much just walking. It's like you're just constantly on your feet for 6 hours, and that's the biggest problem. But I definitely will not be putting any golf bag on my back anytime soon to go for a walk. That's for sure.
I have an electric push cart.
There you go. That's perfect.
Which Mel is really judgy on, but it's fine.
I don't like things like that, Joel. She's talking about we were talking to somebody else, and the them electric ones where they got like the little
Yeah. So,
little
Kira, do
remote
you have
to it.
a thing you put on your belt that it follows
Yeah.
you
No, it
around?
doesn't
That's what
follow
she
me around.
wants.
Those are too
That's what
expensive.
she wants.
I can't
That's what
afford
she
one of
wants.
those, but I would
Okay.
love one if anyone is listening and wants to
I was gonna
sponsor
say, it sounds
me.
like a sponsored deal. Yeah, right on the
I
horizon.
want one of those, but this one is just like a boop boop button thing,
What
and
you know who has those is everyone over the age of 65 at my club that walks has the one they put on their belt and just follows them around. So I
well,
think you
people
got
that
a
are
few
over
years before
65 can
that.
afford those things. I'm still working on it. Okay, I'm still trying to come up with extra income.
We just need a few more listeners to this.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. You are probably one of the more requested tour players for interviews and things like that. Would you ever consider a media career post playing days?
That's a good question. A few years ago I would have said yes for sure. Um, after have I've got to do two things kind of in that field. So I did the Netflix Cup where I was an analyst, I would say, calling golf shots for the F1 drivers and the PGA Tour players. I believe that was 4 and 4 of each. Um, that was fine. There was so many technical difficulties going on that I realized like you got to be better about this stuff on the fly, and
Mm-hmm.
the amount of homework I did on the golf course was lacking. I'd never seen the golf course before, so there's a lot of things I
So
learned
now
that I
just-
could have done.
So you basically just tried to bullshit your way through.
Yeah,
Well done,
like
Joel.
this putt breaks left. Like no idea.
Just hit it.
That didn't. Yeah, exactly. So that didn't. And the amount of extra stuff that goes into it like was a lot, and I was like, man, I just want like the microphone on the golf course, let me go talk about the golf shots I'm watching. I'm like, okay, that sounds easy enough. Well, I got to do that at the Creator Classic last August in Atlanta for the first one. That was way harder than I thought it was going to be too. I thought it would be easy to call the golf shot that's in front of me, and I forget who, it might have been Jeff Newbart. I don't think it was Jeff, might have been someone else in my ear, and I'm talking about this bunker shot right in front of me, and I have two things happen. One, the player I was talking about says, Joel, I can hear you. And the second one is a producer in my ears tells me to wrap it up because they're going to the next golf shot. And I was like, okay, I got to be more concise, I got to be quicker, and I have to stand further away.
That's brilliant.
So that didn't quite go as well. And then they cut off my mic for a few holes because my group wasn't playing well. And all of a sudden, I'm off in the stands.
They were just sick of you. They were just sick of you. They were like, nah, that's enough now.
This wasn't working. And then, like the 14th green, I'm having a beverage with a fan, enjoying my time.
Joel,
and next thing I know,
comedy
they-
genius, sir.
They
Let's
call
go
me
down
in.
to Joel Dahmen. Cheers.
And they're like, Joel, what do you think of this? And I was like, I am 50 yards away over here chatting with some fans right now. I have no idea what this putt does. And that was classic. And then as I remember, it was really going well for me when Daniel Rappaport finished with the first grip and came back out to help my group. So I think my
When he just had support.
broadcasting career is limited, and I'm hoping I can play golf for quite a bit longer so I don't have to get into that.
I don't know. I feel like you would still, with some more reps, you would.
Yeah,
you
you'd
would,
be fine.
You would crush it. But it is hard work.
When you get used to it, you can walk with the drink that the fan got you, and then call the shot. You could do two
Certainly,
at a time, so you're fine.
There is some fun stuff. I think I would much more enjoy being like the Johnson Wagner. I was out there like recreating shots and having like, I think that's obviously been a huge hit the last few years, and the stuff that he's done has been great. And obviously it helps that he struggles maybe around the greens at times, but
he did pretty good at the players though.
He did great.
He did very
he did
impressive,
do pretty
Johnson.
good. His chipping's got a little bit better, I must say.
It has gotten better. And he's obviously he's great for that. So I would like to be in the golf world in some capacity. Obviously you want it to be on your terms as much as possible, but whatever it entails.
This is a long time from now hypothetical situation.
Hopefully. And I think I would like to play the Champions Tour as well. Unlike Rory, I would like to go enjoy 50 plus with some of my old buddies and
in a golf cart.
So go be competitive and hang out. Yeah. I mean, by that point, it sounds great.
That does sound pretty good. Who's like your bezies on tour then? Like, do you stay with kind of your mates every week in like Airbnbs and stuff? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, so Airbnb almost every week that my family's on the road. A lot easier in that aspect. But Mark and Megan Hubbard and their two girls are awesome. We spend a lot of time with them. We're staying with them next week in Houston. Stay with Harry Higgs out here quite a bit. Ryan and Chelsea Brim were our absolute rock solid. They were amazing. They're basically like Rig's second parents out here last year. So it's easier to stay with, families, just have all the chaos and enjoy and kind of dive into that when you're off the golf course. But definitely Airbnbs and say kind of the Hubbard Higgs Brim clan is definitely our closest crew. But every now and then you'll branch out. We'll stay with the Sea Island Mafia every now and then, hop in with JT Poston or Keith or some of those guys. But
drink a lot of Diet Coke.
I stay away from that stuff, but there is that.
The
that
Sea Island
crew
Mafia
can.
guys, they're big on Diet Coke.
How do you know that?
I don't know. We pick up random things out here.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just stand around.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
People say random things all day
There's
long.
a lot of Diet Coke and a lot of M&Ms flying around out here on tour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Back in the day, it used to be beers and cigarettes. Now it's
what do you
Diet
say?
Coke.
Yeah, no, screw the Diet Coke. Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
How did you become such good friends with Harry Higgs?
I had heard about Harry Higgs through like Keith Mitchell. They spent some time together on the Latin tour when they first started out playing professionally. And then I don't exactly remember. It might have been Pebble was the first time our paths crossed. So like into his rookie year. And I basically walked up to him. I said, "Hey, I think we're going to be best friends." And
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, sounds good." And we've just kind of like hung out ever since. We really, Harry is, I don't know if simpler is the right word, but there's a lot of couch sitting and there's a lot of, it's just very chill and easy to be around Harry.
Yeah.
It's like, he's an incredible chef, which I didn't realize until a few weeks ago when we stayed together. And it was just the guys. It was me, Hubbard, Higgs, and Geno. And Higgs cooked 3 nights in a row. It was pretty special stuff.
Wow.
So he did some birria tacos, did some spaghetti and meatballs that were actually very good. Very impressive stuff. And you can order pizza with the best of them. So you can't beat Harry in the kitchen. Yeah, and we just kind of hit it off.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 hours I was with him in the bar with you and Max, he's very easy just to stay around. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so easy just to get on with, and like, he's got just a really good, like, calming energy for some reason. I don't know. I knew I would love him. I would
agree with that. Yeah,
he was just like, a bit like you, really, Joel. When I first met you, I just was like, these boys are solid.
Yeah, I think that there's most of us out here on tour are actually pretty normal, good dudes. I would say like any workplace, you're going to get along with most of us. But I think when you get really good guys that are going to cross over, like I think Harry and Hubbard and the Brims, like we'll be really close forever. Even when this game's over, long gone with our wives, we'll still be really close and we'll spend a lot of time together. And that's what's really cool about being out here for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask quite a personal question? We don't.
Oh boy.
Can I talk about you losing your mum?
Yes.
And how that's affected? Because obviously I lost my mum, so I'm just curious how that. Because how long ago was that now?
That was the spring. Actually, it is coming up next month. It'll be since 2006. Was that 19 years? Is that possible?
Bloody hell.
No, that can't be right. That math is off. No?
2006, yeah, that'd be 19 years, wouldn't it?
It was April of 2005. Yeah, kind of wild.
20 years.
Time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect you personally and kind of on your golfing journey, just out of interest?
Yeah, so for me, I was a junior in high school when she got sick and when she passed away. So happened very quickly, and I didn't process it very well. Kind of always hoped for a miracle. That was kind of the way we thought about things. We always kept it positive and light. So my grieving process took a long time, and that's why I really struggled kind of in my college years. Just was kind of a lost kid, and I was such a mama's boy. We were very spoiled in our house. My mom did all my laundry. She cooked everything. She made my bed. If there was anything that ever happened, like my mom did it for my brother and I. Like we were just mama's boys through and through. So losing her, like she was the one I was closest with. Could talk to her about girls. I could talk to her about whatever I was struggling with. Where my dad, we're still super close, but it was way much more of a sports type thing, golf relationship. And so losing my best friend really was very difficult. But also she's the one who drove me to all my golf tournaments because she was a school teacher, so she had summers off. So we just spent summer driving around, hanging out. She was my biggest fan. So losing that as well, yeah, you go through a lot of emotions, and like at some point you didn't want to play because you feel like you're missing out on her, and then at some point you kind of wrap around to it like, hey, your mom wants you to play golf and she wants you to succeed, and like you should start kind of living life for her, and trying to make her proud of you, because she's still here every step of the way. And so it was very difficult for me, and it took a lot longer than maybe others, but I was kind of a lost kid for a while. And now she's with me every step of the way. And I think a lot of times out here, like, how cool would it be if my mom was out here watching golf on a PGA Tour and getting to do things we never was possible for us. It was like, hey, let's go, travel around and do whatever. And she would be the best grandma. And like those things I really miss out on. But at the same time, I know that she's still with me, and she's looking down. She's really happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely certain milestones in life, isn't there, where like, well, there's a lot of things in life where you just like, oh, I just wish I could just call my mum and ask her a question and stuff. And
Certainly,
there's certain things like when I met Carly, and when I got married to Carly, and then we had Kai and all that process. Like it's it kind of brings back a lot of emotion. But yeah, I mean, you were really young. I thought I was young, but you were even younger than me to lose your mum. So just for someone who's also like lost someone quite important to them, I think you're doing an unbelievable job, mate. Just wanted you to know that.
How old were you, Mel?
I was, gosh, it's going to be 12 years in May. So I would have been, 13 years. So I would have been 24, 23.
you're already well on your way in your professional career and moving that things. I think, like you said, like some of the hardest. I remember my wedding day, like, was really difficult. I wanted my mom to be there.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, well, not weird, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want, like, my mom was obviously the best mom, but also like she loved her nieces and nephews that she had. Like, would spend a lot of time, and I just like imagine like the type of grandma she'd be, and how often she would just be around all the time, and it would be like, yeah, hanging out, like missing all of this time. Yeah, it makes you think about a lot. Like you're rehashing things that maybe you hadn't thought about for a long time, but then you do these life milestones, and so yeah, we certainly still miss her, but we also still talk about her and keep her memory around a lot, and I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, we actually have a picture of my mum at the side of Kai's bed, and he literally says Nana all the time. Like he knows that it's,
so
you know what I mean? Like he picks up and he's like Nana, which is quite weird actually, because we do talk about it, but he's also like 14, 15 months old. He shouldn't really,
right?
Like, but yeah, it's weird. He'll wake up and just like grab it sometimes. Like that's weird.
That's pretty cool though too.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
awesome.
That's something that he'll learn obviously more about as he gets older, and
yeah,
probably will see a lot of Kai and her, which will be
yeah.
really
When he
cool
was
as well.
born, I was like, oh shit. I was like, he literally. I just all I saw was my mum and him. I was like, that's really weird. Yeah, it was crazy, but very cool, very cool.
Certainly.
But yeah, thanks for sharing that, mate. I just I just like asking people really, because it's just a very unique and personal thing, and I think that I also struggled with it, and everyone was telling me what they think I should and shouldn't do, and I was like, just fuck off, like just let me deal with it on my own, like I'll figure it out. Like ultimately you're trying to do the best that you can, aren't you? You're just trying to survive and figure it all out and figure all your emotions out. So, but yeah,
you're exactly right. Like I think a lot of the hardest things is people are telling you what should be happening or how you should be feeling and how other people are dealing with it, but that's like just a very unfair thing to do, and everyone's going to take their own time and kind of go through it their own way, and as long as I say you kind of keep them between the bumpers and not let them like actually hit a gutter ball, like, hey, people are going to struggle through this, but on the other side of it they're going to be stronger, and they're going to be better. I mean, I wouldn't say better off, but they're going to learn a lot from this, and they can grow a lot from it as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you guys both do an amazing job of keeping their memories alive. I know, Mel, you always talk about how, when you got back out onto the range and had her with you and how important that was for you to find your love of the game back again. And Joel, obviously, you talk so much about her and have been really open about that. I think like the fact that, to be so open about it, I feel like I obviously can't relate. I don't know. But I can only imagine that would be very difficult.
Yeah. And I think it's at this point, being so far removed now, it's you only have happy memories and you only think about the great times and all
Yeah.
of that stuff, which is almost, I just think about all like how much fun it would be out here now for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. I actually listened to a podcast about grief and it really resonated with me. And it was about how grief is almost like love, how that it just is constantly evolving. And how like sometimes it can go up and then down and then it goes up a little bit again and down. And it's, it's like being with you, it's like me being married to Carly. Some days I want to throw her out of the house and be like, what the hell are we doing?
Right.
I want to kill you. And the next day I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in love with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's kind of what it's saying, is that it just evolves like love, like, but you never stop loving them. You know what I mean? And so it's just, it was just quite interesting. It really resonated with me. Like there's certain moments and even like parts of the day sometimes, like sometimes, I think about it quite a bit, but there's certain parts of the day or certain moments in time where I'll be like, oh yeah, right, yeah. I don't know, I think of something about her, like it might just be like a certain flower, or someone walked past me today in the supermarket and had a perfume on. I haven't smelt that in probably 6 years. And it just, I was like, boom, straight back. It was weird, yeah. But yeah, so that's, it just really resonated with me that it kind of evolves like love. And I thought it was quite, I know, just.
That is very good. That's actually, I've never heard that before, but it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Should we shift gears and wrap it up with something happy?
Slightly more. Yes, let's go that route.
Sorry, Joel. I just just wanted to get. I just enjoy learning, to be honest. I like to see how other people have done it, and I think you've done a fantastic job. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I'm really glad. I appreciate you being open about it. So thank you.
Certainly.
All right, Kira.
More fun.
Okay. All right, Joel, I sent you some of these. Mel might have added a few, but we're going to go through superlatives on the PGA Tour or in your tour life. We kind of already did this one, but name your PGA Tour bestie.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to choose one besides Lana and Geno, I'm going with Hubs, because we can go very serious in the golf mode, and we can practice hard together, or we can hang out in Vegas together, and that's a nice wide range to be buddies with.
Yeah, you gotta have a Vegas guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had one. So apart from you, who's the biggest gym rat on tour?
Clearly Harry Higgs.
Yes. I mean, people have seen him with his shirt off as well, so they wouldn't disagree with you there, Joel.
You would be very impressed with Harry.
Right then.
Yes, we were peak male athleticism there. Harry's actually down probably 20 or 30 pounds from his peak, but he's actually
good. I saw him today. I was like,
and he's strong.
Is
he?
Yeah, he's been putting a lot of time in this last year. He's changed his diet a bit too, and very strong, very impressed. He's never going to be like, the smallest guy, but it's impressive. He can throw some weight around, and he's been doing that well. But gym rat, I mean, there's just guys like, all these young guys are just always in the gym now, and I'm like, good for them. But there's like the older guys, older guys are like there to maintain and like stay healthy, and these young guys are like actually getting ripped, like Jake Knapp. Like, I'm like, hey, good for you, man. Really happy for you.
Mm. You guys have got similar biceps though. Don't
certainly.
Yeah, don't sell yourself
pull yourself down. Yeah, come on, Joel.
I just have to wear tighter and tighter shirts every year. That's all I have to
exactly. Extra medium, small.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your most likely meal after a tough loss?
If there's a Taco Bell in the area, it's going to be Taco Bell probably.
And what's the winner meal?
Definitely a nice steak, like the best steak I can get my hands on. Steak and potatoes, and some martinis that evening. Probably after that, it's a nice way to celebrate. But yeah, I mean, Taco Bell's a steak. I guess there's technically steak in Taco Bell, but there'd be two very different things for me.
A different type of steak.
I've only ever had Taco Bell twice.
After Taco Bell, you have to eat your own, like, you have to eat, like, multiple pints of ice cream to drown your sorrows. Like, that's a nice way to get through the evening.
Yeah.
Athlete right there, people. All right, so who has, like, the shortest, this is me being a nerd, who has, like, the shortest, like, warm-up on the range?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Look at you, Mel. Great question.
Thank you.
Yes.
I used to play. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I used to play a little
Weird.
bit.
Yeah.
I was the shortest warm-up. That's what I want to know. I was.
There has been multiple times. Let's see, Norman Jong. He was I think he was a rookie last year. Multiple times where he's just hit a multiple putts and has bounced
Stop
to the
it.
first tee.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
So hasn't even hit a ball?
Yeah, correct. Zach Blair will get in there and get pretty quick at it. Just a few balls and off he goes. I think everyone knows like the history of John Daly. Just a few drivers and off he goes. But this new era of golf is a lot different. Of everyone's 90 minutes beforehand. We're stretching and warming up, and you get through the full hour. But every now and then there'll be someone that kind of surprises you with a short one. But for the most part, we're all buttoned up and trying really hard for a while. I mean, if I'm teeing off last on Saturday or Sunday, I'm not afraid to maybe make it slightly quicker than others.
Right. Laura Davies used to have a saying in her career that if she couldn't see the driving range from the clubhouse, she wouldn't warm up, and that is dead true. Like she would hit in the net. Amazing. I've seen her probably at a dozen events hit in the net.
Wait, can I ask a Laura Davies question, or just like
She's awesome,
a T-turf question?
Yeah.
So, okay, I saw I don't know if you guys saw this video yesterday, but somebody posted a video of her making a T-turf tee with like a wedge on the. Don't people get mad about that?
You can't really tell she's done it.
What's the etiquette around
two things.
that?
Okay, so no, nobody cares. So she obviously gets a sand wedge and smacks it up against her foot. So the reason she doesn't, she's been honest about this, is she feels she's going to hook it. Unless she really has to absolutely bust one, she will literally do that every time. Now, Charlie Hull...
It all goes back to Charlie Hull.
It does. But this is just a normal story. Okay. Whenever she has a practice swing with any club, but mainly with her driving through, she takes a divot. So on every single tee box, about 2 yards behind the actual line of the tee is a chunk divot, and it's from Charlie Hull. So she actually does more damage because she doesn't replace it. Whereas Laura snaps it up and then she'll just snack it down. You can't tell. And Laura always tees it up on the right side of the tee box.
Interesting. There's one spot like in the rule book. It actually says especially. I mean, Laura is she's on the older side, but even like long before her time, it used to be a thing. Like that's just kind of what people did at times as well. Before, I mean, they had the sand tees and they had all this stuff, but. Actually, in the rule book, it says like you are allowed to damage the tee. You're not damaging the tee box. Okay. I know what you're saying. Like divot goes back in, but does that mean that like on par threes we're not allowed to take divots with our irons? Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's legend. I'm obviously a massive Laura fan. I think it's legendary, and she absolutely stripes it.
Rather impressive.
I think it's amazing how efficient she is too with it. She just like whacks the wedge and
then
like,
throws the wedge.
Perfect.
Literally throws the wedge back to the caddy perfectly. Like the caddy just literally doesn't even look and just goes smack and just grabs it.
Did you also mention you got to play in a Solheim Cup with Laura as your partner?
Yes. In my first ever Solheim Cup, dude.
That's incredible.
I mean, that was the peak. I was absolutely screwed after that because that is just because I grew up. The reason I play golf and she hates me saying this is because of Laura. Like. I just loved the way that I watched Tiger play, but then as a woman, like she was my idol. I loved the way that she played, like obviously the way she played golf, and she was just like very much herself. And she absolutely smashed it, Miles. But I love that she played snooker and darts and football. She's an unbelievable athlete. So we used to play like cricket on the beach in Australia. Mate, she's unbelievable. Like any kind of sport that she touches, it's like gold to her. Like it's just her thing.
Love that. Someone needs to write a book about her.
Yeah, probably, and she's just an unbelievable woman. Like I have always adored Laura and become quite good friends with her over the years, and just absolute legend. Just one of the lads, just an unbelievable woman. So yeah,
and she's a great commentator.
An unbelievable commentator, like as I knew she would be. She just loves sport. Like she used to have like 5 TVs in her house, and it was a different sport on each TV.
That's awesome.
And like Sounds a Saturday, spot. She's just a legend. Laura's a legend.
Love that.
But yeah, that was cool to play Solheim with us. Sorry. Yeah, it was awesome. Very cool. Yeah.
Shall I ask you another one?
Back
Joel?
to you, Kira.
Yeah, okay. Sure. No. I mean, we can turn this into a Laura Davies podcast. I'm not.
No, you could.
Sounds like you found your next guest on here.
Yeah, we got to go. Yeah, Mel, get on that.
Okay,
okay, who's most likely to be late for their tea time?
I'm trying to think of where it happened recently. Matt Kuchar is known to be cutting it very close.
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
I don't know if he was actually late in the last few years, but I forget who was. There was someone who actually was a few minutes late. I think kind of one of those weird rain delay things where we went back out. And but Matt Kuchar, I just played with him Saturday last week at the Players, and he, like, the putting green to the first tee was not that far. But I'm thinking, like, I cut it. I don't like staying on the first tee forever, so I get there 2 to 3 minutes before I tee off, which is fine. But, like, we're talking, like, sometimes it gets within 10, 15 seconds for these guys walking on the tee, and I think Kuchar is the worst offender of that. So I wouldn't be shocked if at some point it catches him.
That gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
I don't know. Our caddies hate it, but so far so good for me.
All right, I've got one last one for me. Who's like a player on tour that has like gadgets every single week and is like, do you know what I mean? Like has something on their arm, something on the wrist, something in between the legs, something on the head.
Charlie Hoffman for sure.
Is it?
Charlie Hoffman is like Tin Cup when Roy's struggling in the movie. And a lot of times it's kind of the same with Charlie, but there's a full on, like, he's got stuff everywhere all the time. I feel like Eric Van Rooyen is also doing a few things. There's always someone around helping. But Chuck, man, happened to be we had a flight delay or something, so we ran over to Hoffman's house for a bit. Then I go to kind of his gym, golf area, man cave deal, and he's got stuff everywhere. But there's a chain. There's just like this long chain, and I'm like, what could this possibly be used for? And he's like, oh, you wrap it around your waist, and then you see if you can move the chain without moving. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense to me. So you get in like a putting posture, and the chain is hanging between your legs, and you're supposed to get the chain to swing without moving, like visibly moving your body. Yeah, see, this is like 4 years ago, and I'm still blown away by it. But every now and then, I see him with this chain, and I can't even look at it anymore. It just boggles my mind.
Yeah, I've got a weird visual as well.
I know, same. I'm like, wait.
I'm like,
somehow this chain started swinging, but
very talented man.
Yeah.
Very talented.
His hips don't lie.
He's got it all. There's always a ball, or there's some bands, or there's something going on with him.
Oh, funny.
Okay.
He's had a nice run. I mean, he's made it 20 years out here. So.
Yeah, he's not done bad, is he, lad?
Yeah.
He's here this week, I think. I think I saw him.
I just took some money off from the practice round yesterday.
Oh,
thank you.
Look at you. Love that.
Thanks,
Chuck. Okay, last one for me. And you can take this any direction you want to go. What's your favorite current like golf beef or person with weird hot takes on Twitter? There's a lot of weird stuff going on in golf.
There's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot going on. There's with the division and pros, and with the Live and PJ Tour, who knows what's going on. I would it's hard to believe anything you read on Twitter anymore. No one knows what's going on, and I feel like at this point I've blocked like all of the bots, so I don't have my feed is relatively cleaned up from all the junk. But I think we gotta, if we're thinking about a great beef of all time, we gotta go back a little bit. We gotta go to Keegan Bradley and Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Oh yes, I remember that.
That's a great one.
Yeah. This is actually like one of the times
random too.
Right,
it's like they're
caddy, actually in each other.
Wait, set the scene for those that don't know. Set the scene.
I believe it was at Harding Park. It was somewhere in the Bay Area, but they're playing the match play, and it got late in the match. But Miguel, so they were like opposite sides of fairways. But at some point, Miguel comes over, Keegan's caddy Pepsi starts in and chirping at Miguel for some odd reason. I don't know exact details on it, but they start 20, 30 yards apart on opposite sides of the fairway. And they end up in each other's face. To the point they're pointing fingers, and it's like for golf, it's as close and as like in each other's faces they're getting. And at some point, he didn't and Keegan steps in front of his caddy and gets in his face, and it was for golf. I thought it was very entertaining and great. And there should be some more of that. There should just be more people calling each other out there. Now, I'm not the guy to maybe to start that beef. It's not going to be me. I just kind of.
You're going to be the guy throwing hands like in the hockey rink?
Definitely not me. But there's a few. I think it's always funny to hear in the locker room who some guys enjoy and who they don't enjoy playing with. But for the most part, we just argue about slow play and we just yell about who's slow out there. And other than that, we're just a bunch of pansies like everyone else who just sit and chirp at the lunch table and nothing ever happens about it. So when something actually happens on the golf course, like Keegan and Miguel, it's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the locker room chat for sure. Because, like, she went really close to my line. I'm like, fucking hell. Fuck off. No one cares.
Exactly.
You should have probably said something to her. It's like, no.
Yeah, I'll just complain about it and nothing will ever happen. And
it's just like a bitch. It's funny.
Who's the judgiest about slow play? Who's the most enraged?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, the guy who complains the most is Nate Lashley. But it's interesting because he's probably one of the slower players out there, and he just doesn't quite get it. So that's classic. Yeah,
that is classic.
That's funny.
It's just like it's typically the slower players complain about the slow play, and then they end up being the problem.
Have you heard that thing recently that they've put together? I don't know if it was Barstools or whoever put like that stroking. Everyone keeps saying stroking. Like, have you seen it? They're like, well, they should just stroke guys. Like, I would stroke guys. And then it's like, the volunteers said they wanted to stroke me. And it's like a combination of all these players. It's actually really funny. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did see it, and it's worth a laugh, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what the internet can put together and what they can come up with, and make it whatever they want it to make it into.
Everything in golf already sounds so weird and messed up.
Well, it's not the most like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going to offend people if I say it, but you know what I mean? It's not the most,
I think that's why you're on this podcast.
Yeah,
Mel.
that's the point, Mel.
Oh, just to offend people.
Well, because your sidekick is Miss America, so like you gotta. You don't have to worry about her offending any person.
By the way, like that is my dream come true.
I say some things, Joel, and I can see Kira at the corner of my screen just like. I enjoy the reaction, Joel. I do. I sometimes just do it on purpose.
I mean, a few of the highlights already, from open-toe shoes to wondering which country.
Did you know what a fucking open-toe shoe was?
Yeah, I have a wife.
Joel,
and
thank you.
Fucking sorry, I'm
right
from
here.
Britain.
This is.
Are they yours?
He's holding up Birkenstocks if you're listening.
I didn't see the size of them.
Yeah, we couldn't see the back of it.
I was like, Joel, they're really nice. Like a 2-year-old. Sorry, the rigs. My bad.
And also, I gotta show you this. See if I can flip this camera around. Just for Mel. No, I don't know. But what is this? This is a map for you as well, Mel. So you can
point out where Peru is.
I was nervous. It was our first episode and I was all jittery.
Somewhere over here.
Yes, I understand. South America. Yeah, excellent.
If you run into a girl named Mel Reid there, it's not our Mel Reid. It's a drug dealer, Mel Reid.
All right, has everyone had a good laugh?
Right.
Yeah, has everyone finished? All right, well, lovely to have you on, Joel. Thanks so much. See you later, mate.
Yep. Classic.
Oh, dear.
I'm here to help. Here to help.
That was great. Thank you, Joel. I really appreciate you.
Yes. You guys had some great highlights early on. You guys are just getting started.